Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to another episode on Prophecy Trades. Today's video, we will be discussing four currency pairs, and two of the currency pairs will be from our weekly pre-market analysis. They are our AUD/CHF and Euro GBP, and I will be breaking down those pairs and how I executed and guided those trades based on my previous prediction from my earlier analysis from Sunday, and two other pairs, USD CAD and NZD USD. So, with that being said, let's get started. So we have AUD/CHF. We actually just entered this trade a little bit ago, and we are currently in break even, maybe a little bit of drawdown as we speak on the hour chart. In the previous video, we were looking for price to come up into this blue box region, which is our Fibonacci completed zone, and we were looking for price to come inside and respect this trend line of some sort. So let me jump down to the 30-minute or 15-minute for some clarity here. I'm going to jump down to the 15-minute so we can see more of what price is actually doing and how it's printing. So as you can tell, I have this faint line here drawing a prediction of where I wanted price to come before I decided to enter the trade. Price unfortunately did not come exactly where we wanted. It actually did come and respect this Fibonacci completed zone, but failed to respect the trend line. So actually now we're reassessing the trade, and we wanted to see price still come up and respect this trend line of some sort, even though price has already respected and completed the Fibonacci zone. So with that being said, we actually then decided to see if the move was completed within this retracement of this lower time frame Fibonacci level. So from this swing high to this swing low. And what I mean by that is I'm going to highlight these yellow eclipse so you can understand exactly where I'm capturing price from this swing high to this swing low. And this is on the 15-minute time frame. This is for entry. So we can see this is the key element of the Fibonacci retracement that we're looking for. And we're trying to see if the price has been completed within the move. As you can tell here, price is now respecting that 78.6 level, which is still a pretty significant Fibonacci rejection zone. So I'm going to delete the fibs so we can have some clarity and understand what's happening in the market here, so I can show you more of what I was looking at. So I actually drew my fib trick from here, from this low, and this highlighted eclipse to this swing high. And what I mean by that again, it's this tip of this wick here. And you can tell price then creates this completed zone within this minus 27.2 up to this minus 61.8, which is our completed zone, respecting your trend line. Already completed the higher time frame, our time frame Fibonacci trick. And price is showing us and printing lower lows and lower highs, giving us a strong bias for a short position. So that is how I was able to execute a bias of getting into this trade, and I'm going to delete this fib, and we're going to jump up to the hour time frame to show you what I was looking at. As you can tell, we did have a indecision candle here just upon entering that Fibonacci zone. Price came up, previously respected and tapped the trend line beautifully. So this is another sign of rejection here as well. We actually entered previous to that, but we based on what we saw in the 15-minute and 5-minute time frame. And then also too on the 4-hour time frame, these are looking for market structure. As you can we can see here, we have this shift in market structure here. We have the last higher high. We break, we make this new low, this new lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And this would be our optimal entry here based on what we were able to see in the present time, looking to create a lower low, bringing this down to targeting the first take profit will be the minus 27, and the second final take profit will be the minus 61.8. And the last thing I did, I actually went up to the daily chart, looked to see if there's anything that could prevent us from touching this minus 61.8 level. I do see a nice long wick here at this, basically, it's at a quarter point level. It's at the 0.5000 essentially. And this is where a psychological level where price could potentially reject and then come back up to the upside. We also see on the daily chart we are below the 50 EMA, so it's another strong confirmation and confluence to having a short position here. So jumping down to the 15-minute chart here, and we saw this price engulfed dramatically up to this, respected the trend line again. So that's another tap there. We ended up going down to the 5-minute chart, and we saw this bearish engulfing candle. We're in this price action, and price actually ended up closing here, and we entered right on that candle there. So moving on, we have our stop loss on the just up outside of this Fibonacci fib trick on the smaller time frame, because if price breaks above this, this is going to compromise our analysis on completing the move. So price should not exceed beyond this too far. It might wick, give or take. So if it breaks beyond this 51,712 level, we are going to be deemed out of this trade. We're risking 10 pips. This is a very precise trade. I'm looking for very precise entries, and I'm looking for actually a 1 to 15. These opportunities don't happen too often, but when they do happen, I tend to want to maximize as much as I can, risking 1%. If this trade actually is successful, this will be roughly over 15%, which is exceptional, and I will take that any day, even if this is the only trade I get for the week. So there's that. And like I said, I already showed you where the take profits are. We probably will take a take profit partial here, maybe 25%, depending on how the trade runs. Maybe nothing, depending, but based on what I saw in the daily time frame. I'm very confident in what I'm seeing here, and we are going to just react to the market on what we see, and from there, that's that trade. And we're going to move on to Euro GBP based on our weekly pre-market analysis. We actually are not in this trade. We're looking for price to actually dive a little bit deeper into this Fibonacci completed zone, the fib trick area, and we want a confluence of respecting this higher time frame trend line. This trend line, I believe, is on the 4-hour daily bias, and we can tell here it's actually the daily bias, and I've been using this for a number of weeks now, and it's been right time and time again, once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, and we're going to continue to use this trend line until it shows us a reason not to use it as a support until otherwise. So from there, that's that. I will keep you updated on Euro GBP based on that entry. Until then, we are just analyzing the market, and as you can tell, we have alert here for price to come down here, and we will probably be looking to enter around there. We see some indecision candle, some exhaustion, some price action, and we're looking for somewhere around the realms of a 1 to 5, maybe a 1 to 4. We also have USD CAD. I'm actually in a short right now for this trade. This is on the hour chart. I actually went up to the 4-hour time frame. I drew trend line, want to tap 2 or more wicks, 1, 2, and right here, meaning this wick and this wick, and we have this candle, a wick through it, but respected it because the candle closed within underneath the trend line, acting as resistance. And we also have another wick here respecting that trend line as well. And as of right now, we have the trend line just about to cross, just barely bypassing the body of this bearish candle here, respecting through the wick of the candles here. So I went to the hour time frame, and we ended up drawing our fibs from this. Let me delete it and show you. So from this tip of this wick, this high to this low, and brings us into the realm of that 78.6 region, and which is still an optimal respected Fibonacci level. We have a confluence of the trend line, and we have a market structure. There's a market structure shift here, where price was pretty much ranging, pretty much trying to go to the uptrend, but then failed, made a market structure shift to the downside. We are now coming back to a unmitigated area, and what I mean by that, there is a unmitigated region here, and this would then be classified as a fair value gap, where it is imbalance in the market. So that's another confluence of why we decided to short in this region as well. And then we end up going to the 15-minute time frame. We pull out our fibs again to identify a fib trick to see if the move was completed within the move. And as you can tell, minus 61.8, minus 27.2, completed Fibonacci trick box, giving us another confirmation. So we then ended up going to the 15-minute. Before doing so, we also see a indecision candle here. The indecision candle is literally this candle right here. Oops, wrong tool. Right here. And this was another signal for a short entry, almost to the T. So we end up going to the 15-minute, and we actually saw price action here, bearish engulfing, entry, boom. So you can see price came up and it wicked this 88.6. And what are the rules? Stop loss just outside the fib trick or outside the next nearest Fibonacci level. The fib trick is here, but we do see it passed this 88.6. I didn't want too much of a large stop loss. I'm looking for maybe at the time 1 to 5, and I saw price should not exceed this wick here. If it does, then we would be deemed wrong. So that is our bias for a short position, and we're looking to take this down to the minus 61.8 for our final overall target. And we have the minus 27. We're probably going to take a 50 to 75% partial here. Because we have a higher time frame trend line, price may come depending on how fast price prints. Hypothetically speaking, if price tends to print like something like this into the future, we might not be able to actually reach that minus 61.8. So this is the why I'm taking a majority of my partial there. On the higher time frame, we do have this trend line here, and this is 1 tap, 2 tap, and this is why we're deeming this a very strong level of support. So then we also have one more for the day, and we have NZD USD. This actually was on the New York Open. It was an entry here. This actually came to light very last minute, scanning through the market, doing some more market analysis. I ended up catching this move here. On the hour time frame, we have the trend line here. We have it crossing multiple wicks multiple times. It tapped on this here. That was my last, well, this was technically my last confirmation on the hour chart. And then we also had the fib zone. This is the strongest Fibonacci rejection zone, which is the 61.8. And then we also had a fib trick on the 15-minute chart. And I drew my fibs from this tip to this tip of the wick. So this tip of the wick to this tip, this is the retracement, 78.6, comes back, completes the minus 27, barely taps it, and respects the trend line, and this is the completed move. So those are my biases there. And we actually entered off the 5-minute time frame, or was it the 15-minute? Yes, 5-minute time frame. We saw it just tapped it, respected it. Price quickly came back up within this trend line. We do see a form of inducement. We see this is basically where price basically is like a stop hunt. It's inducing lower time frame retail traders to get in the market, saying it's respecting it, take out people's stop hunt, tap this area, and then reverse strong to the upside. So that was my other reason there, and our entry was off of this candle here. So that is my weekly analysis for today, and I will keep you updated on progress with these trades. If you're liking these videos, press that like button, leave a comment for anything that you might want me to dive more into, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Bye.